No, it's that closet.
I've got that one.
Oh,
Eve Kendall, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning?
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the June 3rd, 2019 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Bill Rippon, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning.
morning.
Morning, everyone. We have a busy agenda today. I want to get started, but I did want to see if we could move items G1 and G2 to the first items under new business. The Director of Corrections has important things to take care of today, if that's okay.
Busier than the county clerk, who's usually under. Sure,
Okay.
we.
I guess the answer is no, Brian.
Sure.
Okay. Let's do that. First item of business, please.
Item 1, proclamations, presentation and consideration of Lake Shawnee's Girls Softball Complex Artificial Turf Replacement Project.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. Before the holidays, we were down with this item asking for your approval for the project budget of the girls softball turf. If you recall, the total budget was $778,319.50. $600,000 of that has already been approved through our capital outlay, and the remaining is for engineering services as well as backstops. However, at that time, you did ask for a brief presentation. I apologize that we didn't have this prior, but we'll go ahead and show you today. Basically, this turf project is all about economic impact and playability on the fields. It's hard to draw tournaments to our site without having guarantee that most likely they're going to get the tournament in. I'll talk briefly a little bit later regarding the economic impact, but when you don't have the turf fields, this is what happens when you basically have an inch of rain the night before. We have crews out there trying to dry and get the water off. As you can tell, that's at least 3 to 4 hours away from playing, and depending how hot the weather is. Sometimes we may have to cancel the tournament if it's delayed much more than 4 or 5 hours because they just can't get the tournament in. However, on a rainy day at our Bettis complex, this is taken shortly after rain and the sun popped out, and you can just see we're ready to play. The outfield sometimes may be a little soggy, but we can get by with that. Obviously, we don't play if there's severe weather or a real heavy rain, but a light rain or just a delay of a few minutes, we're back out on the field. Like I said, too, we are going to replace a couple of our backstops on this is Diamond 3. We're going to do this on Diamond 3 and Diamond 4. You can kind of tell that this is the old chain link. You can see how many pulls it takes. Aesthetically, it's just not real good to look through. You can tell the bottom. I got a little better picture here of the bottom, how it's curling up. And our new standards for any ballparks that we put in, we're putting in netting. And we've done that at Dornwood on the 2 fields that we've done there. We've done it at Bettis. We've done it at Shawnee North. We've already have Diamond 1 and 2 at the girls complex that has done that several years ago. This is what it would look similar to. It won't have quite as high a backboard as that is, but you can tell the netting is so much better to look at. You can see there's just the 2 poles for viewing that might be a little bit of a hindrance to look out, but for the most part, it's just aesthetically looks so much better. The economic impact, this kind of just shows you of our normal 48-team tournament. The impact is about $280,000. If we get the turf and max out, It would increase almost $200,000. You take that over a full season, and you can see we almost double. We go from 7 million to 13 million in economic impact if we field the tournament and get that many teams in on the 27 tournaments we host. We're hoping with this we'll even be able to host more than 27. That's just what we currently have. With that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Where do the teams come from that play in our tournaments?
Most of them are within the Kansas City, Nebraska, Wichita, and a lot of them will spend the night. We do have national tournaments that come from all over the United States also, or mostly the Midwest. But yeah, they come. Darren, I don't know if you have the exact numbers of that, but we have, most of them are from the Midwest area, 3 or 4 hour drive.
But we do have national tournaments?
Yes, we have one coming up in July again, correct?
Okay, and how many teams do we typically have?
For the national?
The national tournament, regional tournaments?
That's what my guess was, about 45 or 45 teams. So,
And how many fields are we fixing up with our $700,000?
we'll be fixing up, there'll be 4 turf fields with 2 backstops and then the engineering for that too.
Okay, very good. This is the kind of information that we need when we
Sure.
make decisions to spend so much money. Commissioner Cook, do you have any questions or
Just-
comments?
Currently, the fields that we have are just grassed fields, and so this is taking it from the grass fields to the turf.
Actually, they're ag lime, where the outfield will still be turf, regular grass, and then the infields will be the turf. But yeah, we have red shell. Actually, these 2 are ag lime that we're replacing, but we have 2 that are red shell also.
And the money that's from these tournaments, it goes back into Parks and Rec and goes back into
Yes,
the development and paying for these things,
yes,
so that way they become more self-sustaining.
that's our goal.
Very good.
Do we have any future phases with the girls' softball?
Yeah, we're hoping, and that's on our capital improvement plan, we're hoping to get a new concession and restroom facility out there. I think that's the main new entrance going in. We're going to try to get it up. One of the complaints we generally have there is the restroom facilities is a little ways away from the playing fields. So we'd like to design something that would be closer, along with concessions and kind of more like the Bettis facility as the entrance.
Seems like girls' softball's really taken off the last few years. I think because they're televising the NCAA
Yes.
tournaments. I've watched a lot of that this weekend, and I'm sure everybody else is too. So.
And I'm glad that several years ago when we built the boys, the girls really weren't interested in the turf. There wasn't that many. They thought it was too fast a playing surface for girls, and now more and more are doing it, I believe, just for this purpose, to guarantee you're going to get your games in. And that's such a big thing when you're trying to draw people in. They don't want to come in and get rained out and head home, so.
Do we work with Visit Topeka and the Greater Topeka Partnership on bringing these tournaments in?
Yes.
How do we integrate with what they're doing?
I know, actually, do you want to come up, Darren? I know Darren works directly with, Darren Tolan is our sports supervisor. He works directly with Visit Topeka as well as the partnership.
Morning, Darren Tolan, Sports Supervisor. Yes, we work with Visit Topeka very closely and the Greater Partnership. We bid on tournaments. Right now, we have the one coming in July. We also work with them on other tournaments throughout the community, like at Rieger and things like that. So we're constantly looking 3 to 5 years out to try to get stuff in here. Usually the bid process is anywhere from 2 years out, but we want to forecast even farther.
Okay, good. My only point was that the Greater Topeka Partnership gets a lot of money from JADO and other sources, and I
Yes.
want to make sure we take full advantage of that resource.
Correct. Yes, we work with Mike Bell very closely on bidding for stuff.
Very good. Any other questions, guys? Next item, please.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 2, unfinished business. Number 1, consider approval of a project budget totaling approximately $778,319.50, of which $600,000 will utilize 2019 capital outlay funds, $54,719.50 will utilize building maintenance funds, and $123,600 from capital maintenance 3R funds for the Lake Shawnee Girls Softball Complex artificial turf replacement project deferred from the May 23rd, 2019.
Sorry, I sat down too soon, didn't I? We'd really appreciate approval.
I move that we approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Randy. Next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
11 items on the consent. Any questions or comments?
I move for approval as presented.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. Item G, Department of Corrections. Number 1, let me get there. Consider approval of request to post and fill one division manager position for the juvenile intensive supervised probation
Put that on the budget.
division at an estimated salary, including benefits of $61,698, and to fill a position that becomes vacant as a result of filling this position.
A little nervous, I guess. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is just a request due to a resignation of a current division manager at the Community Corrections that we're asking to both post and fill a much-needed mission-critical position with Community Corrections. This is a position here that both serves to manage both the juvenile population. That's what this person did at the very beginning. We're looking to oversee and post that position and to fill any positions that may become vacant due to this. I have both Deputy Director Tim Phelps and Division Manager Trenton James here can answer any specific questions, but this is a mission-critical position that we need, and we did work with Angela Lewis on this at the very beginning, and that we have updated the position description to meet those expectations, and we'll be getting that over to her today. I'll be happy to stand for any questions you may have. This is money that is budgeted for. It's not new positions, so this is stuff that has already been taken care of. And I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Very good. Questions for Mr. Cole?
Answered all mine, so I move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item G2, consider approval of an emergency repair with Sound Products, Inc. to troubleshoot and repair several failed security cameras at a cost of $1,755 with funding from the contingency funds.
Good morning, Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. As you will see that we did have an incident on May 3rd, and that did directly cause a major malfunction in our security systems. Numerous cameras failed. We did attempt to reboot this. This didn't work. We were able to call in our vendor that fixes these things. We wanted to get this on the commission much sooner. We did work with Betty Greiner regarding this, but obviously we had some commission meetings that were canceled and things like that. We did talk to Ms. Greiner regarding the funds, and she did mention that contingency funds, if approved through the Board of County Commissioners, would be sufficient, and that there were funds in there. So I do have Deputy Director Eve Kendall here, who's over our physical plant and maintenance, and to answer any questions you may have.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much for
All
moving
right.
this up.
Next item, please.
Item A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Under Building and Maintenance, Cook, Flat, and Strobel Engineers, $15,500 is for design services for Deer Creek Trail Extension. Under Equipment Fund, Topeka Landscape, Inc., $43,000 is for landscape renovations on Potwin Circles. Under 911 Telephone, Kansas 9/11 Coordinating Council totaling $268,237.02 is for Next Generation 9/11 Systems Annual Service. Under federal grant, Candace Consulting, LLC, $12,950 is for Emergency Management Commodity Flow Study Phase 2. Under Sewer Districts, Professional Engineering Consultants, PA, $12,133.50 is for Pump Station 60 Replacement Professional Services. Under Solid Waste Recycling, Rarig Pacific Company, totaling $57,711 is for refuse carts. Total vouchers as of May 31st, 2019 is $2,896,222.27. And I move that we approve the vouchers.
Second.
Motion made to approve the vouchers by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve the correction orders by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, Human Resources. Number 1, consider approval of request from the Public Works Solid Waste Director to reclassify the position of mechanic, PCN Solid Waste 1007, Solid Waste, or SW 1008, SW 1009A, SW 1010A, SW 1049A, SW 1100, at a minimum salary, including benefits of $56,050.37.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. It's good to see you again. We presently have 6 mechanics positions. 2 are filled. And in fact, these positions have been under constant recruitment for at least the past 2 years. So obviously, we've had trouble filling these positions. They're obviously mission-critical positions because if our trucks aren't working, they're not out on the routes picking up refuse or recycled materials. So what we'd like to do is reclassify these positions. And the major points of the reclassification are, number 1, we move the wage scale from 206 to 207, which basically equates to a step 1 hourly rate of $16.77. We move that to $18.44. Rather than requiring 4 years of experience, we require 2 years of experience. And rather than requiring only heavy equipment mechanics, we open that up to include people with experience in automotive, agricultural, truck, or heavy equipment experience. We allow the individual, they have to have attained their Class B commercial driver's license within 120 days of hire. So in summary, we believe with the salary increase and maybe the change in requirements, we can encourage more people to apply for these positions. And in my mind, we align the requirements for the position with the actual work that we require of these positions. Much of this work is very technical. It's maybe under warranty, so our people are not performing the work. Maybe they're performing more routine maintenance. So I think this change, this reclassification really aligns these mechanic positions with reality as it sits right now. So I hope that you would consider that. Any questions?
How have we been getting along? I mean, we've had 2.
We've worked a lot of overtime.
Okay.
And
And we had the contract work out also?
no, we've had no, well, when you say contract work, we've had the local vendors that serve these trucks. They've been doing probably more of the work than normal.
Okay.
But the work's been getting done with a lot of overtime and maybe assistance from these local partners. But no contract, we've hired no contract mechanics, if that was what you were asking.
Okay, yeah. Questions?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Good luck. economy is going so well, it's just hard to find good people, I think. Next item, please.
Item C, Facilities Maintenance. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C 204-2019 with Western Specialty Contractors for courthouse exterior cleaning, repairs, renovations, and weatherproofing at a cost of $299,875 with funding from the remaining deferred capital maintenance funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. This item has been probably even overkilled at this point. We initially brought this forward to negotiate with some firms to get our exterior of the building cleaned and resealed and waterproofed, have the windows recaulked, weatherproofing the building, and just generally cleaning it up. Western Specialty was the company that the Professional Services Selection Committee selected back in March, and there was some issues, and we went ahead and put the entire process back out for RFQ, and only Western showed back up for the mandatory pre-bid on that, and we entered into contract negotiations with your approval about a month ago, and during those contract negotiations, we were able to specify and get a little bit closer look at the building, and went and basically dropped about $100,000 off of their initial estimate, which got us down to a price of $299,875, and they are ready to start just as soon as we can execute a contract, and they would hope to be done sometime this fall. So answer any questions you might have.
Questions?
I have none.
Yes, Commissioner Cook.
How do we manage to shave off $100,000? I mean, do we have any reduction in service? Are we getting a?
Yeah, off the initial estimate, we decided that it probably wasn't necessary to grind out every one of our joints as we got to looking at the tuck pointing on most of the joints. Some of it was in pretty good condition, so we reduced that by about 2/3, which when you look at all the brick joints and things, and some of them were in the penthouse area, and there's a parapet wall around our cooling towers that we decided it's not structurally important to the building, it's more a facade, so do we want to really spend the money on doing that kind of stuff? So, but we'll get the building sealed and secured and sound again.
So your professional opinion, that was work that did not necessarily need to be done?
We don't necessarily have to do that, yeah. It's more aesthetic than it is anything, and it's really even hard to see that parapet wall with all those joints up on the roof.
Okay.
So, and a couple of our penthouses, we think we can probably do in-house, getting them a coat of paint.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions?
seemed like we saving $100,000 is worth that.
Okay. Yeah, again, we're relying on your professional opinion
Yep.
to get the job done right.
Yep. And we should have a really sound building when this is complete.
Okay, very good.
Move that we approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item D, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C 205-2019, Amendment Number 9 to Contract C 372-205 with Finney and Turnipseed Transportation and Civil Engineers, LLC, to provide engineering and documentation services for 29 bridges at a cost of $4,500 with funding from the Parks and Recreation Department, Park Planning and Development Division's operating budget.
Good morning, Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. Back in February of this year, you approved an amendment to a contract from 2005, which allowed Finney and Turnipseed to provide inspection services for the county's approximately 255 bridges. Since then, working with Parks and Rec, we suggested that, or they suggested, that their 29 bridges be added to this contract. And so for what I consider a very small fee of $4,560, note there is a small error in that in the write-up, $4,560, Finney and Turnipseed has agreed to inspect all 29 Parks and Rec bridges. Now, these will not be reported like the county bridges because it's not required to do so. But from a professional engineer standpoint, I just think it is important that these structures be inspected every 2 years and that Parks and Rec receive a report on those. So, unless you have questions, I suggest that we approve this amendment.
How long is this contract good for? Is this just a one-year contract?
This will be a 2020 inspection with reports, so the work will start here very soon, and then the report will be issued in 2020, and basically it's a 2-year report only because our county bridges require a 2-year inspection interval, so we'll just piggyback the Parks and Recs bridges on that, and they'll probably be looked at every 2 years also. And if we decide that the Parks and Rec bridges don't need to be looked at every 2 years, hey, we can remove them for maybe one of the contract cycles. So we have some flexibility there. It depends on what Parks and Recs wants to do and what we think is appropriate.
Any other questions?
I'd move that we approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook, and please note for the record, the amount is $4,560. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D2, consider approval of change order number 1, final, reflecting the actual quantities with an increase of $8,980 for the Southwest 37th Street Bridge over tributary to Shunga Creek with funding from the Special Bridge Fund.
Courtney House, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. I think when I was absent, Tom Flanagan came forward and announced that our Southwest 37th Street project was complete and the road was open. That was probably a couple weeks ago at least. Since then, we've kind of been filing out the project. We have one final change order. It's for an additional $8,980, and the primary reason for that increase is we've obviously had a wet spring and a wet winter. And as such, we needed foundation stabilization for the contractor to start their work on the structure. So that was an increase of $9,855, and then there were small decreases in a couple other bid items. So the net increase is $8,980. And but I would also like to announce that overall, the project cost went down by almost $120,000. So with that, I do have some pictures here of the completed structure. Parks and Rec, oh, you guys.
Hey, you're doing their bridges, watch out.
How the heck did I get out of this? Anyone more savvy than me? They can. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on. Okay. This is the new structure. If you remember, the old structure had steel girders that were rusted through. I think this is a tremendous increase. I think the public should be very proud of this structure for the money spent. And so with that, I got one more picture. If the mouse will agree here. This is not the best surface to work on. Okay, and that's a picture down the roadway. You can hardly see the hub guards over to the left and right. There's no guardrail. We have our delineators up, so I think this is a tremendous improvement in how the area looks. And again, the change order is an increase, but it was needed because of the wet spring. But overall, the project cost has decreased by almost $120,000. So with that, I take your questions, and I recommend approval of the change order, and with that, I await your decision.
I'll move to, Commissioner Cook, sorry.
I know that, for those of us that attended the annual township meeting and Norm Bowers and heard his presentation, we may know, but for the public, where are the sides of the bridge? And I know that this is going to be a question that comes up in the future as we have some engineering changes and thoughts in engineering, but where's the sides?
Well, the sides of the bridge are at the hub guards, and that's delineated by those signs with the diagonal lines. They're outside the clear zone, so guardrail is not required. And I think, number one, it provides a better looking structure. And guardrail is something, everyone thinks guardrail is out there, it's to protect the public, but don't forget, people can hit the guardrail. Anything that's out there on the roadway can be hit. We think if you can avoid the guardrail, it's the best way to proceed. Okay?
And again, that was one of the presentations that Norm made during the annual township meeting, is how dangerous guardrails can be sometimes.
I think we've talked about this before. If you don't install guardrail correctly, or if it's an old standard, it can be a spearing problem. You can have the ends that enter the passenger compartment. Or if on the other side, the other extreme, if it's too far out, or the posts are spaced too far apart, it's too soft, and then it doesn't provide the protection that you need. So, to me, no guardrail is the best option, provided the guardrail is not required by other design considerations.
Yeah, I just know this is a question that comes up when we go out to meet with our constituents who say, what happened to the bridge? Because we get used to the way bridges should look. And so anyway. But
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
I'd move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Kurt. and
Thank you.
Commissioner Cook, for bringing that up. That was good information. Next item, please.
Item E, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-193-2019, entering into a 5-year agreement with National Cooperative Leasing to replace 11 pieces of equipment in the Park Operations Division at an annual cost of approximately $135,559.53, which includes lease service charges, with $50,581 to be paid out of the Gulf Earned Income Fund, and the remaining $84,978.53 from the department's operating budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brent Holsether with Shawnee County Parks and Rec, Fleet Services Supervisor. Give me just a second here to bring up my presentation. Oh, that won't work. I'd like to begin by giving a update on the condition of our fleet, kind of where we're at inventory-wise. In the past, it's been reported in a number of different ways, so in the interest of being consistent with how we report our inventory, I'd just like to point out that this includes all of our licensed vehicles. If it's got a license plate and an engine, it's on this inventory. So, for instance, a street sweeper, in the past we may have considered heavy equipment, but it's hard to draw the line sometimes, so this way. So we're looking at a total with the weed department and golf, which were kept in separate inventories in the past, of 123 vehicles. This kind of breaks down how they're used. We are using 53 on a daily basis. We have a big seasonal swing, so, going from, somewhere around 100 to maybe 600 employees in the summertime. So we have a number of vehicles that are seasonal use. We have a number of vehicles that we share at some of the community centers and office. And then some special use vehicles that are, for instance, like a wreck and roll van, the street sweeper, things like that. Our fleet services, our fleet management plan spells out the process for replacing the vehicles and equipment. And what we do is my staff and I assess the vehicles and equipment, see what kind of shape they're in, and then we meet with, then I meet with the department supervisors to determine what they need the most, because what's in the worst shape and what we need the most isn't always the same thing. And then meet with leadership to determine the funding. We use a vehicle replacement rating. Each of these criteria get a number assigned to them based on the condition of the vehicle or the equipment. And this kind of breaks down what kind of condition, what the ratings are. Currently, we have 90 pieces of equipment over 25 points and 60 vehicles over 25 points. We're, like for the parks, we're asking for 4 mowers, and they are all over 31. So it's some as high as 37. Mowing is expensive, and the equipment to mow with is expensive, but there's a number of other costs that go into mowing besides just the equipment. And I'd like to kind of go over with you what our thought process is in what we would like to lease. The first piece of equipment we'd like to look at is a 16-foot wide area mower. They tend to be very reliable and efficient. We've got its little brother here, an 11-foot area mower. Kind of does a little bit of both, gets into tight spots, but also will do a better job on big open areas. We have a 5-foot trim mower, which to most people would be a huge mower, but for us, this is what we do: tight spots and ditches and stuff we can't get the bigger mowers into. At this point, we're not asking to replace any of these. The big area mowers have an advantage that they can mow with any combination of those 3 decks up or down. So you can mow 8-foot wide, you can mow 12-foot wide, or you can mow 16-foot wide, which helps in parks that have lots of amenities and trees and bushes, things of that nature. And just to give an idea of the difference of the swath that mower will take, on the left there is the 16-foot mower, and you can see it covers a lot more ground. I came up with a magic number here of 65,000 acres. What that is the expected amount of ground we can mow with our wide area mower over its 5,000 hour primary life. Had to pick a number, and that seemed to be the best way to go. As you can see, a large area mower is really expensive, a $100,000 mower. But it takes one operator to use that mower, and it can travel through town fast enough that it doesn't need a truck and trailer to pull it around. So if we factor in fuel and maintenance and everything, we're looking at about $223,000 to mow that 65,000 acres. If we contrast that with its little brother, that area mower, that 11-foot mower, it does require a truck to pull it around, and then you're looking at 2 operators. So $339,000 approximately to mow that same ground. And then if we were to use trim mowers, $389,000. Again, factoring in a truck and mostly operator costs. The trim mowers aren't quite as reliable as those big mowers, which is a factor as well. So last year, when I was preparing my capital outlay requests, speaking with Mr. Knight and Ms. Greiner, I was asked to look into the business sense of leasing equipment. We've had pretty good luck with our enterprise leasing and with our golf cart leasing. So I explored a number of different companies. Leasing makes budgeting much easier, especially like for golf, using their revolving fund to pay for the equipment. Don't have to save up a whole bunch and then put it all out at once. And then, of course, cash has a good amount of value as well. If we spend a bunch of cash on equipment that we don't have for the bridges or other amenities. I spoke with the State Fleet engineer, Ms. Greiner, Public Works, some contacts I made at the fleet contract last year, or conference last year, and researched a number of different companies. National Cooperative Leasing seemed to be the one that kind of shone through. They specialize in tax-free municipal leases, doing business with the local governments and school districts. And because of the tax-free part of it, in other words, because they don't have to pay taxes on the dollars that they lease for us, they're able to lease more inexpensive than like the manufacturer's leases. For instance, Kubota or Toro. The equipment that we would like to lease, there's 4 mowers for Parks and Rec, and a loader for Parks and Rec, and then 6 mowers for the golf, different golf courses. And the annual cost of the lease would be $135.59, contrasted with the cost of purchase of about $616,000, and that's over 5 years. I kind of showed you some pictures of the other mowers. This is the golf mowers that we're looking at purchasing, and the loader that we're looking at purchasing. If you have any questions about anything, I'd be more than happy to answer best I can.
Well, thank you for the presentation. It looks like we're taking a systematic approach to replacement of vehicles, and it's financially sound. My only question is that we've contracted out so much work that we should see a corresponding decrease in the number of mowers and vehicles that we need. Do you have that information available?
Yes. For instance, 2015, we had 64 mowers, I believe, and as of right now, or 62 mowers, and we have 34 right now.
Okay.
We haven't replaced any mowers since 2012. So the mowers that we have, for instance, like the large area mowers have equivalent of about 300,000 miles on them, if you were looking at. So, and you can't just go rent a 16-foot wide area mower. So being that we have a total of 5 of them, if several of them go down at once, we can't do our job. So not without hiring a whole lot of people to run small mowers. So that's...
So over the past 4 or 5 years, what you're saying is because of the ability to contract out, we're saving money. We've actually cut in half the number of equipment that we
That's
need.
true. That's
Okay.
true.
Okay, very good. Commissioners, any other questions?
A question on the
Romano.
lease agreement. We still do the day-to-day maintenance on the equipment.
We do.
What about breakdowns, or major breakdowns on this equipment? Does it go back then to the supplier?
So on new equipment that we would buy, it would have a warranty. What we have found in a lot of cases is that we still do end up doing most of the work because of time considerations. For instance, the Toro dealer is in Kansas City, and so what they would normally want to do is come out, try and fix it. If they can't fix it on the spot, then haul it back to Kansas City, and then bring it back to us after it's fixed. And they're having trouble finding mechanics as well. So in the past, what we've done, it's been a long time since we've had any mowers under warranty, but a lot of times we'll just have them send us the parts and we put them on.
Questions, Commissioner?
Well, I just know that, 2012 was the last time we purchased, and that was at that time, 80,000 for the large mower. So we can see that cost has gone up over just even, from 2012 to 2019.
It's gone up considerably since last year because of the steel tariffs.
And so I think this makes sense as where we're able to enter into some leasing agreements. That takes into account more flexibility as we decide what to contract out and what not to contract out. I think this is a very comprehensive plan. So,
A motion?
motion.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. That presentation was very well done and appreciated. Next item, please.
Item E2, consider authorization and execution of contract C206-2019 with Chris Nunes to provide 6 hours of on-site training to include relevance, continuous improvement, change culture, and business planning programming at a cost not to exceed $2,800 with funding from the department's operating budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Olivia Mayer, Parks and Rec. We're really excited about this request. A couple of us have had the opportunity to listen to Chris Nunes and his enthusiasm just about the field. We loved, and we kind of met after one of his sessions and said, we really want to have him come in and focus. We heard him kind of generic talking, but we have been able to work with him to really specify a program and lay it out for our staff what we would need, and we're going to extend an invitation to the commissioners and a couple of the department heads and stuff, so hopefully everybody will attend. Can I answer any questions you might have?
Questions for Olivia?
How many staff do you think will be attending this?
We're hoping that it will be our entire full-time staff is what we're hoping for, but it's in August. We picked August because it's going to be after everything is closed down and school is almost ready to start. So we're going to get the save the dates out to staff today after the approval.
Well, making it mandatory may make a difference.
Yeah. We'll work on that.
Okay. Any other commissioners?
No.
Questions? I'll move to approve the contract.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Next item, please.
Item E3, consider approval of request to lease 4 additional vehicles, 2 assigned to Parks and Recreation and 2 assigned to Weed Department, utilizing the Enterprise Fleet Agreement C226-2017, increasing the annual agreement by $26,038.12, of which $11,944.08 is funded through the Weed Capital Outlay Fund and $14,094.04 from the Parks and Recreation operating budget.
Morning, Commissioners. Brent Holsether again, Fleet Services Supervisor. Wanted to mention with the inventory that I gave earlier, there are 3 vehicles that we're going to be removing and surplusing from that inventory. And then there's 4 here that we would like to replace. We have, as I said before, we've had pretty good luck with the enterprise lease up to this point, and we'd just like to consider replacing a few more vehicles.
Questions? Motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item E4, consider approval of request to award bid to Playscape Recreation for equipment and installation of 3 shade structures at Bladesdale Pool in Gage Park at a cost of $17,063.76, with funding from the contingency funds and authorization and execution of contract C207-2019 for same.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby again with Parks and Recreation. If you recall, towards the end of March, we requested to go out for bid for these shade structures at Blaisdell that were damaged last year during a severe storm that went through. These are just replacing the 3 that we had. Playscapes came in as the low bid. We've used them before as a vendor and been very pleased with their product. We're just asking for your approval. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Questions for Randy?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Randy. Next
Thank you.
item, please.
Item F, Health Department, number 1, consider approval of request to create and fill 2 support services supervisors position, 1 position located in the WIC program and 1 position located in clinical services at salaries including benefits of $52,090, and to fill any positions that become vacant with filling these positions.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Edith Gaines, the Finance Officer with the Shawnee County Health Department. And this request does come as a result of our Support Services Manager retiring. So we are now asking to split this position into 2 supervisor positions instead of 1 manager position, because the prior manager had been employed with the Health Department for 38 years, so she had extensive experience. She was supervising 9 clerical staff over 2 different locations, and then she was also overseeing 2 patient management software solutions. And in the past, the clerical groups had been located together, so at that time it was easier to supervise them. So the benefits of this proposal would be giving better oversight and supervision of the staff, more efficient and effective distribution of the workload, more backup coverage for the patient check-in and registration, ability to gain a more thorough understanding of each patient management software solution, succession planning by creating mid-level supervisory positions for entry-level staff, and then increased employee morale. As was already stated, one of these positions is located in our WIC program, which is funded by the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. And the other program is in, the other position is in our clinical services program, and that's funded by program fees and tax allocation, and hopefully, if we get funded, by our family planning grant. So each position annually would be $52,090, which we can support in our 2019 budget. And so if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Are there questions for Edith?
No. I'll move that we approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Edith.
Thank you,
Next item,
Commissioner.
please.
We've already had G. Item H, Sheriff's Office, number 1, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Hill regarding the purchase of a mobile-mounted Leonardo ELSAG license plate reader from ELSAG ALPR/ANPR Solutions, Contract 208-2019, including a 3-year extended warranty at a cost of $26,480 with funding from the federal forfeiture money.
Morning, Commissioners. It's a mouthful. We'll refer to it as LSAG.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
What that is, LSAG's an automatic license plate reader. Sheriff Hill has expressed interest in purchasing one with a 3-year contract. Total cost will be $26,480, and intent to purchase that from the federal forfeiture money. So any questions about this piece of equipment that I might be able to answer for you?
Yeah, what does it do?
So it's an automatic license plate reader, and I believe we're intending to purchase the mobile units that will actually go on the patrol cars. And it's a tool that gleans information as the officer's driving down the roads. Primarily, it'll be used in interdiction, criminal interdiction, possibly even human trafficking. So we start tracking the career criminals that constantly travel through the roads of Shawnee County. That information will start popping up that, hey, 2 days ago they were going the other direction, now they're coming back. Also will help us on the investigative side, putting vehicles in places. So when that equipment's out driving around, also part of this, we would have access to the same data that's being gleaned off of like Kansas Turnpike through the city of Topeka and all that as a customer with the LSAG product.
So we would get more information a lot quicker.
Yes, we don't get just our information. We'll get whatever information's there. If another jurisdiction has any warnings or, hey, be on the lookout for this, then that information's held in that system as well, so.
Okay, very good. Questions for Caleb? I'll make a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the correspondence.
I'll second.
Motion made to acknowledge receipt by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item H2, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Hill regarding renewal of chaplain services, contract C209-2019 with John Hanson from January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, and a cost of $500 per month with funding from the 2019 budget.
Morning, Commissioners. Caleb Egri, Captain, Shawnee County Sheriff. Chaplain Hanson has been, I've been here for 20 years, so ever since I've been here, Chaplain Hanson's been the agency's chaplain. Provides a tremendous amount of support for the officers as well as the community during the times of their needs. So with that, any questions, the contract will be $500 per month run between January 1st and December 31st of 2019. So I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions for Captain?
Move for approval. For acknowledge receipt.
Acknowledge. Second.
Motion made to acknowledge receipt by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item HC, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Hill regarding a contract with John Austinson, contract C210-2019, to provide maintenance and groundskeeping at the Sheriff's Office Training Complex and the radio towers on Southwest Valencias, Northwest Davis, and Southeast Shawnee Heights Road from July 6, 2019 through December 31st, 2019, at a rate of $2,000 per month with funding from the 2019 budget.
Morning, Commissioners. You might see on this one where the contract has also gone up from where the former contract holder, Rick Ladke. The reason for that is because this contract is now going to take care of some of the maintenance on our radio tower sites as well. So with that, it would bring the cost of $1,000 a month to be paid out of Sheriff's budget funds for Mr. Austinson. Questions?
I'll move to acknowledge receipt.
Second.
Motion made to acknowledge receipt by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you,
Caleb.
Commissioners.
Have a good day. Next item, please.
Item I, Administrative Services, number 1, consider approval of resolution number 2019-33, adopting the Shawnee County travel policy.
Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. Today, I'm asking for your consideration for a updated travel policy for the county. I'll go over just the major points. It requires the Board of County Commissioners for approval of any out-of-state travel. We do have one qualification, that the Kansas City metropolitan area is not considered out-of-state. It qualifies that travel must be reasonable and necessary. It defines the covered expenses, including a list of what are qualified expenses and what are not. It defines the responsibilities of the department heads, elected officials, and court administration in requesting their employees' reimbursement. And it also defines the county clerk's role in auditing those requests and before payment,
and, making sure that they comply with the policy. It requires itemized receipts on all items over $10 that are not included in the per diem amount. It provides that the mileage reimbursement will be based on the mileage rate established by the state of Kansas. So therefore, when their mileage rate changes, ours will change also. So it'll, always be current. And then the last item I was going to mention is the per diem allowance would be based on the U.S. General Services Administration, and they go through an extensive program of evaluating the costs in all of the places throughout the United States. Their website provides a per diem lookup for that, and this would use their website for the per diem amounts for meals and incidental expenses. So I will be happy to answer any questions. I would like to mention that I've worked with the clerk's office on this. They've been very helpful in us working this out together, and it's also gone through the counselor's office.
Very good. Questions about the resolution?
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Betty, and thank you, Cindy. Next item.
Item 4, administrative communications.
This is an opportunity for department heads or any member of the public to address the commission.
Morning, Commissioners. Darren Tolan, Sports Supervisor, Shawnee County Parks and Rec. I just want to introduce you to Nate Greer. He is the new position that was hired for tournaments and special events for sports and for our department. So he's got a big plate, bringing tournaments in and working with our facilities and partners and all that to try to make, to pick a destination for sports. So
Very good.
You'd like to say something?
Thank you.
Morning. Just excited to be working with Shawnee County, and I think that we have a lot of potential for the future in our sports department.
Welcome aboard. It's good to see young leadership coming on board Parks and Rec.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Oaks from the Health Department. Just a quick reminder, today we have the Sequential Intercept Mapping Seminar at the Health Department at the J.P. Lewis Building from 11 to 1. And this is a stakeholder collaboration that ties existing efforts together from pre-arrest to re-entry, identifying strengths and gaps. So Director Cole is over at the Health Department getting ready for that session right now. He's going to be leading that today from 11 to 1. We do have lunch, and if you still want to come, you can still come. So I hope anyone who's interested in these issues would come to the meeting today. And then I'm also happy to introduce a new staff person. This is Susan Kamen. She's our new community health planner, and she comes to us. She grew up in Kansas City, recently from Indiana University, completing her master's in public health. Wow. She's an expert on community health improvement plans, and she's already working on it. So we've got her out meeting people and working on that plan, and so I'll just have her say a few words.
Good morning, Commissioners. It is very nice to meet you. Like Linda said, my name is Susan Kamen, and I'm very excited to serve Shawnee County as a community health planner. I see a lot of potential here and a lot of great existing initiatives going on in the community, so I'm very excited to work collaboratively with other sectors in the community to advance the health of Shawnee County.
Welcome. We have great expectations for you. And again, young leadership coming to our community is always very impressive. So welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
On Tuesday, I had the opportunity to give the welcome to, the commissioners will welcome new employees regularly. And so I had the opportunity to welcome our community health planner to Shawnee County, and I think I mirrored the comments of we expect great things, and we're very looking forward to her being on board.
Thank
No
you,
pressure.
Commissioners. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Kurt Neos, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. Country Stampede. It has the potential to delay our Gary Ormsby project by 2 weeks. No official decision has been made yet. by Public Works. I just wanted to bring this up in case you receive questions. We are considering it. We are working with our partners on this issue. A decision should be announced Thursday at the commission meeting.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for the heads up, Kurt. Anyone else?
Morning, Commissioners. Captain Acre, Sheriff's Office. On the heels of Kurt's announcement with Country Stampede, just so the community knows, we will be actively helping the Country Stampede as well as our partners with Topeka Police. And I know there's several other agencies that are, with the announcement of that move, we have begun putting plans into place. So as those plans, lining the ingress and egress routes to the event become available, we'll do our best to push those out to the public through social media, news media outlets, and the Stampede itself, so people will know how to get in and out of Heartland Park, since it's the first time for this venue with the Stampede. So we're aware of it, and we'll get it out there as soon as we can as well. So thank you.
Good. Thank you. I think we all want that to be a tremendous success for our community. I'm excited about them coming to Topeka. Anyone else? Commissioner Cook.
This week, the city council is planning on taking up whether or not the zoo leadership will continue with the city council or maybe possible privatization. I think this is something that we all in the community should watch very carefully. Privatization can be very positive, as we see through Grace Med, but at the same time, I think we should be very cautious, as our zoo is a great asset to the community. It's a staple. Brendan Wiley's done a great job there, and so I don't think that we should just take a passive role. I think we should be active voices as to the future of the zoo. So, thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you very much for bringing that up. Commissioner Rippon.
Okay. Last Friday, the Chamber hosted a dinner with Pat Roberts as the speaker. And, of course, this is his last term as senator. But he was very positive about Topeka and the area, and it was a good speech, Pat. So it was a good event.
Very good. I don't have anything to add this morning. Next item, please.
Item 6, executive session.
There's not a need, so we're officially adjourned. Thank you for coming today. Shortly after I was in the city council, a long time ago, man. He was old back then.
He's still sharp as a tack.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah.
He had a cane at the time.
Oh, he
I don't know if
didn't need a cane,
had
but
surgery or
he's going to live in Topeka at Pepper Tree.
Oh, is that right?
Got a place there. He's selling something he has